I designed and printed my own racetrack, and I discovered that I can use it with just about any robot. You can use it to code robots to race, or you can even use it to remote control them. It's pretty awesome. In this video, I'm going to show you how I used it, but also how I made it. Talebots actually move 10 centimetre squares or 15, so the kids could use the lines as a guide, or they could use a ruler and measure the distances they need to travel. Kaibots also move 15 centimetres, so the lines could be a guide or they could use a ruler. And if any robot touches that green oval in the middle, they're disqualified, they've lost the race. There's a fair bit of trial and error when it comes to coding your spike prime, but it's good practice, it's good experience to be able to use trial and error, come up with your own solutions to problems, see if you can get around that track the quickest. So we're going to go left, left, left. We need pinks. So put a pink one here, just for fun. Whoa. Problem is there's no end, is there? It just keeps going until there's a crash. I guess you could say which one could do the most laps before it crashes. That's a good race. Ready, set, go! Which one could do the most laps before it crashes? Could be either one. Whoa! No, that's one way you could do it. Or you could do it like this with the remote controller, which is pretty hard. So you can open up the Edu app. You can connect to one of your indies. Then you go here and you can choose the way you want to drive it. What? So you can go forwards, left, try and drive around the track. Whoa, that's pretty tricky. Whoa. If you go slow, it's not too bad. If you go fast, it's really hard. Pretty cool. So you could have one against each other on there. And if it was really hard, if it was too hard, you could put books around the outside or timber, and then you could race. You could do the same thing with these guys. You can do remote control. Go or wander. pretty hard, but you can race them around. If you're a good enough driver. Pretty tricky though. It might be more fun if you had hooks around the edge or just some timber. Even if it was just this high, that would work. Just a small piece of timber around the outside. I've done that before. Anyway, so there are remote control options for this as well as coding. And you can even do different robots against different robots. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ready, set, go. Oh! Just like the hare and the tortoise, the slower one can win. Looks like this one's gonna win. How can we make this one win? We've got to give this one a head start. Ready? That one a big head start. Make sure this one starts nice and straight. There we go. Big head start. Just made it. Woo! Set, go! Oh, he's made it! I recently discovered Kaibots. I can even use these to code them using the little cards to race around my track. So there's another robot you can use. And I tried it with Cubelets with a steering robot. So you could have two kids racing each other with their own steering robots around the track using Cubelets. But this is how I did it. I printed out all the tiles I need. There's 20 tiles that make up the track. And there's a couple of pages of spectators as well. But then I guillotined every single tile. If you haven't got a guillotine, you've got to get one. It's the way to go. And then after I guillotined it, I put them all in the right position and made sure it looked right. It's a little tricky with the oval in the middle. You've got to make sure you get these arrows in the right position. Once you know you've got them all going the right way, then you start laminating them. So I laminated them all one at a time. They're all about 19 centimeters by 19 centimeters. The whole board that I use is 1200 millimeters by 900 millimeters. And the track kind of sits in the middle, 4 rows of 5 tiles. And I realized that I needed a gap at each end. Because each tile will be about 20 centimeters squared, I needed 100 millimeters at each end. And at the opposite, smaller ends, I just needed a very small 50 millimeters to make up 900 altogether. So it's 50 plus 800 plus 50 equals 900, and 100 plus 1000 plus 100 equals 1200. So in the corners of my board, I had to make sure that I came in 100 millimeters and 50 millimeters. And I just put a dot on the board there, came in 10 centimeters or 100 millimeters, and then went up 50 millimeters or 5 centimeters. And I put a dot there, and I did that in each corner. Went across 100 and up 5 or 50 millimeters. And once you've got all 4 dots in all 4 corners, then you need something long and straight to join all the lines together. Now I went out to my shed and got myself my spirit level. So I used a big spirit level, but you could use a large piece of timber, or you might even be lucky enough to have a meter ruler you can use. But I just joined those 4 dots up, and then you end up with a nice rectangle in the middle. Then what you need to do is to make a grid. So using a tape measure, Every 20 centimeters or 200 millimeters, you put a line on the edge of the rectangle, and then you'll end up with 5 squares along the rows and 4 squares up the side. Every 20 centimeters, put a mark along the rectangle, and then it's just a matter of joining all those marks together once they're finished. This is the tape I use. It's just a standard electrical tape. There's no way you're going to use 20 meters worth. You might use about 7 or 8 meters, I guess. And once all the black tape's down, it looks awesome. I'm going to show you how to build a frame now. So I decided to make a wooden frame for the outside of my racetrack. I mean, this isn't compulsory. This is an option that you might want to run with. It just gives you a bit more scope and flexibility to do some other things. So I've got 4 pieces of timber, basically the dimensions of the big white board. So 1200 millimeters by about 860 gives you enough room to put some pieces on the inside of the long pieces. So the long pieces go on the outside and the 2 smaller pieces go on the inside. And I decided to use some hinges because I'm always aware that things need to be stored. You mean you could just screw the 4 pieces together and make a large wooden frame, but then where do you put it afterwards? So I decided to use some hinges and added some hinges to the inside of the field, and I've put them on in such a way that they can collapse later. So I'll have 2 collapsible constructions where 2 pieces make 2 of the walls and the other 2 pieces make the other 2 walls, and they're kind of hinged together into 2 piles. So if you put hinges on the inside, and then they can fold down nicely once you've finished screwing them together. And then if you make 2 identical like that, then they can just sit opposite each other. And then I use some velcro to join the non-hinged corners together, if you know what I mean. So I made 2 identical, a little bit in from the edge so that they can just fold flat when they're not in use. They can't open right out flat, but they can fold down flat. So there's really only 2 positions that you need it in. You need it to fold down and you need it to sit on a 90-degree angle. So that's how I made my field walls. And then it's a bit easier to do things like remote control, because then the robots aren't leaving the racetrack. And for some robots, might even get the robot to sense the wall and then turn. So that's my field, and then I velcroed it together using these little pieces here. Another thing you might like to do is to put some sort of obstacle in the middle instead of just having a picture of grass there. It's a bit more challenging if there is actually something in the middle. So I just grabbed a piece of timber which would fit inside the oval, put some Velcro on the board, In this case, I had some black Velcro that had hooks on it. It just makes it look a bit nicer. And then I put some white Velcro on top of that, and then peeled the backing off so the sticky side was facing up. And if it's put on like this, then it will go in, it'll line up exactly on the piece of wood when you place a piece of wood on there. So just peel the backs off, stick them on, and then put the piece of timber on, and it should look good and work well as a obstacle in the middle of your field. I mean, you could stick a book there, you could stick a brick there, you could put lots of things, but if it's Velcroed on, that means when you pack it up, you can actually rip it off and put it away, and it stores a bit better. I mean, you could just glue it on if you really wanted to, but I think it stores a bit better. If you've got a few mats, then it's good if you can get the bulky things off. And you can stick it on probably either way around, and it should be good to go. So here I thought I might challenge myself and make a robot out of Cubelets that could travel around the track but not hit the walls or the obstacle in the middle. And I did this by using a few motors and a distance sensor. And the distance sensor only kicks in when it sees the walls. So when it sees the walls, it turns, and if it doesn't see the wall, then the other wheels are turned around. This is sped up a little bit, but you can see how it never hits the walls, and it goes around the obstacle in the middle pretty much without hitting it. And I thought I might challenge myself and see how hard it was to drive a dash around in this small zone. And the obstacle in the middle certainly makes it a bit more challenging, but it's a good way to practice your skills and realise that you can't go flat out on a race course when you've got a tight corners to go around. So it wasn't impossible, but it was pretty tricky. It would be a good challenge for kids to race each other, even with remote control. I kind of prefer the idea of doing it with coding. Then I tried to see how easy it was to drive my Indi around. So I used the Edu app and chose remote control and had a bit of driving practice around the corners. So this would be pretty fun to have two on there at once and see if you could race each other. Yeah, it's still pretty challenging. You can't go too fast or you end up going all over the place. But it is possible to do laps with an Indi using the app. So if you like my racetrack and you're pretty keen to print out your own, why not go to my store and buy the PDF? It's pretty cheap really, and you can print as many racetracks as you want, even year after year. You get to keep the PDF file, you get to print it out, and you can make your own racetrack by visiting my store. If you're not sure what to do, check out the links in the description of this video. Also, I'd like to have a big shout out right now to my members. These people have joined my channel and they give me a little bit of money every month, and it really inspires me to make videos. In fact, this video might not exist if it wasn't for my members. So thank you members for joining, and if you like this video, check out some of my others right here.